You see, I wonder this feeling called love. They say it's the theory of everything, right? But as I grow up, this love that I see is, I don't know what this feeling is, especially when I got to a teenager, and this kind of feeling that I had. I don't know, it's like an illusion or immaturity, but wait, are you talking about romantic love? Yeah, okay. Let's please always make that distinction, because I don't like the idea of romantic love being the default meaning of the word love. It kind of insults the feelings that I have for you. No, but you say about unconditional love, like this non transactional love. I don't think there is value for that. They get all the love, but while giving back, they are so. Uh, People don't give as much as they get, I guess, especially when it comes to love. So, this unconditional love, I'm skeptical. Unconditional. The mother gives love to the baby, always, 24 into 7. Okay? And imagine if the mother asks the baby, look, I feed you, I take care of you, I don't even sleep properly, I keep giving love to you. Can't you even show back a little of love? And that sounds babyier than the baby. Babies, their eyes are blurred, their senses are just in the nascent state. They are in the receiving end of love. They cannot give it back. And just like that, there are a lot of people who, like the baby, can only get love. But the moment you complain, I love unconditionally, but there is no value to that, people use your love, there is an immediate contradiction in what you say and how you act. I mean, where is the unconditionality in that? Anything in this world that is precious yet abundantly available, such things are always subject to misuse. These both should go hand in hand. Precious yet abundantly available. Take air and take the pollution. Water, soil. True love is not an exception. So, if you have true love, a lot of it, and if you want to show it out, if it's all on one person, then your outpouring of love is not proper. I just heard this article about Canada's water has lead content beyond the safe limit. Yeah, I think it came 6 months ago. Yeah, so Canada has more number of lakes. In fact, it has lakes than the rest of the world's lakes combined. But yet, you see, the drinking water, the lead content is beyond safe limit. So you see, anything that is precious yet abundantly available, it is always subject to misuse. The question is whether you want to channelize it properly or not. So I get this Bob Marley's quote. He says, I think I don't know the exact words, I'm sorry. He said, everybody is going to hurt you at one point. You just have to choose whose hurting is worth taking it and whose is not. I'm going to tell about language, okay, because language plays an interesting role here in terms of accumulating emotions on the word love. You see, at least here in India, we have English as the official language, and we have a lot of other languages which we call mother tongue. Unlike native English speakers, where they use the word love because it comes from the English language. Whereas here, I think it begins in the movies. The portrayal of the word love and I love you has been in a romantic sense, and I can understand why you ask it like that, because everything else we speak in a regional language, but this alone we say love. It even started in the black and white days. They say I love you. If you use in a family situation when you grow up, what love real teachers, they can exaggerate. What at this age, who indulges you in such kind of activities, love, concentrate on subject or things like that. So this perception of the word love, all the emotions attached to the word love, accumulates as you grow up and come into a teenager, and you have watched by the time a lot of movies, songs, right? And you would have of course discussed that with your friends, and teenage times are like the peak when this love is all generated and locked up. It's like a huge mass of energy waiting to burst just on somebody, whether it is some girl you meet in the tuition, or your classmate, or the next door girl, or whoever it is. But there are certain time and circumstances that it happened, and all that emotion that you have invested on that word just starts to blow up, and you kind of start relating that person with everything that you have accumulated upon the word love. And after that point, every perspective, whether it's a love song or a movie, you try to relate that to that person, whereas that's actually not the reality. You're in your fantasy world, almost you identify so much to it such that that is your reality, whereas it's actually not. That cannot happen in Western countries, because in English speaking countries, because love is an English word, whereas here we cannot use like that, because the British came and they colonized us and they gave this language English, and we somehow have taken the word love there in, I guess, in all wrong sense, a narrow view of just a romantic sense. Sometimes people send messages, I love you, to a friend or a sister or mother. Say, who said love is only romantic love? And they do that on Valentine's Day, which is a day dedicated to romantic love. You see, that's so funny to me, because on that day they send Happy Valentine's Day, lots of love. Really, why me? Because who said love is only romantic love? Love can be on a mother, love can be on a friend. You see, native speakers of English, they don't run this risk, because you see, the children when they go to school, we see in movies, bye mom, I love you. Whereas here, if in Tamil Nadu, for example, a mother says, Kanna, amma unna romba kaadalikiren. Ma, that sounds weird. Showing love, mothers do that. In the native speaking countries, they show it in a different way. They say it. Saying is a way of showing. But here, the mother runs behind the child giving lunch back. Did you take your kerchief? Did is your hair combed properly? Did you get inside the auto carefully? Okay, don't forget that. Don't forget to eat everything. And then she waves her hand till the auto turns towards the end of the road. And a lot of ways of showing love, saying it, not given much importance, you see. So I believe that if we start to say the word love in a matured sense, in a broader sense, just tell your pet dog, I love you, keep telling that to your sister, your closest friend, in such a way that all the emotion is not, so much emotion cannot just be related to one person, one word. Call it infatuation, crush, whatever, but I think this is the case, like an illusion. But it's actually not love, it's you being in love with being in love. I think this is a way to test whenever you have this feeling that you said, and if you want to make sure if this is legit and organic. Just ask yourself this question: am I in love with that person, or am I in love with being in love with some person? Not necessarily this person. Our hormones are working like that, and at that stage it is natural. So this is like a test, because a lot of people are in love with being in love, that state of being where it's so nice to relate to all the romantic songs that I've seen, the movies that I've watched, a feeling of connecting myself to the opposite sex. If we consider the things that people have done in the name of love, it is convincing to me that the consequence of any other drug is far less damaging than the drug called love. I mean, under the influence of what drug have people killed their own babies so that the baby is not an hindrance to the love life? Of course, I'm talking about the extramarital affairs, that the news that have come out. But why do you compare love with drugs? Well, the general understanding of drug is a combination of what chemical substances that provoke altered states of being. And what are our bodies made up of? Let's say chemicals, right? And when there's a certain chemical reaction happens in the body when you take drugs, and when, let's say, this feeling that you say that love happens, certain chemicals start to get activated, and you feel this kind of worms in the stomach, and it's actually butterflies inside the stomach. Okay, butterflies. Maybe I meant the premature stage of love. Your heart beats faster, and you feel this sort of this kind of delusion. How are drugs any different? They give you these kind of experiences, I've heard. Either way, it's not reality. That much I'm convinced. With whatever perceptions we have about love, if we conclude that, okay, this is love and I am in love, then we would just have to learn it the hard way, I guess. The delusion is that you might feel that a person is so attractive and everything from a general perception, a perception that you are at that point of time that this happens. Generally, this happens without even exploring yourself, without even knowing half of what you are and who you are. You call another person your other half. And when the spark fades, there are a lot of misunderstandings and things like that. And the solution lies in knowing yourself internally so that you can gain the clarity to see what fits you from the outside. I love you.